Time appropriate greetings everyone and welcome back. In this video we're going to create graphs in Excel. Graphs and plots are easy to make and can really make a difference in how easy it is for someone to interpret your data and use it to make some conclusions. Today we're going to look at 4 students in a local school classroom that are competing in a monthly reading contest. The number of books read by the 4 students in each month was recorded in the table, as well as the number of books in each book genre. Let's focus first on the number of books read by each student in each month. Looking at the table, we can surely get some idea of how the data is organized. We can see that Carol had some good months, 5 books. We saw that Barbara had the best month, 6 books in December. But overall, maybe we want to see some trends over time. That makes this data really suitable for a line chart. A line chart is an excellent choice to show a trend in some numerical quantity over some time period. To create this chart, we select all of the data, including the student and month names. What we do not include is the title of the graph. Excel will think that the word student is part of the student names. We're going to be able to add the title in manually afterwards. If you ever make an error and choose the wrong data for any graph or plot you want to make, just delete the graph that's resulted and try again. Honestly, trial and error is a wonderful tool in creating graphics. On the ribbon, click the Insert tab. In the recommended charts, click Line. Notice that I can hover over the picture to get the name of that icon. In the drop-down menu that appears, click Line. After clicking Line, the graph is inserted. We notice that each student has their own color, and the months are automatically labeled because we selected them. Excel is pretty intelligent usually in deciding how to label graphs. Let's now decorate the graph with some common graph elements that make it easier for a reader to interpret without too much context. First of all, double-click the chart title. This enters editing mode, and I can select it and change it to something more appropriate. I'm going to change it to number of books read by students. Click out to apply the change. In the Chart Design tab on the ribbon, which is usually automatically selected, click Add Chart Element, Axis Titles, Primary Horizontal, and that will put a horizontal axis title. Do the same thing for the vertical. Double-click them and edit them. For the horizontal axis, I'm going to change it to month. For the vertical axis, I'm going to change it to books read. You can click and drag the graph somewhere that it's not interrupting the data. Now we can look at this graph and immediately at a glance see that Barbara is the clear winner of this reading competition and that David tends to land at the bottom of the group, with Carol and Aaron fluctuating in between. Since we've also captured data on the book genre, we've counted how many books are in each genre, let's create a graph to display this quickly. Since the 40 books were counted in categories of genre over horror, sci-fi, western comedy, historic fiction, and mystery, a bar chart is a wonderful choice. Bar charts show counts of individuals, in this case the books, over several categories, in this case the genres. Again, select all of the data except for the title. In the ribbon, click the Insert tab, go to Recommended Charts, and click Column. 2D column, clustered column. And we now have inserted a bar chart of this data. Double-click the title and change it to something more appropriate. I'm going to change it to Number of Books by Genre. As before, on the Chart Design tab in the ribbon, we're going to add vertical and horizontal axis titles. Primary horizontal axis title, primary vertical axis title. Double-click the axis titles to give them appropriate names. I'm going to call the horizontal axis genre. I'm going to call the vertical axis count. At a glance, we can tell that comedy was the most popular genre read by these 4 students, and that mystery, western, and historic fiction are all approximately tied for least popular, with 1, 2, and 2 books read over the 10 months. As the course progresses, we're going to learn how to create more appropriate graphs, in particular for demonstrating the relationships between two numerical variables in a sample. The basics of plot creation in Excel will extend to that nicely.